Hello, Yates County and beyond. Welcome back to another episode of Invasive Species Friday. Through this short weekly podcast, we at the Yates CCE hope to bring you information about the invasive species you may see around this county. So let's head to the pasture with this week's invasive, Canada Thistle. Despite the misleading name, Canada Thistle is actually native to Europe. Also called creeping thistle, it was introduced accidentally to the US in the 1600s, likely through contaminated farm seed shipments. It's now widespread throughout the northern United States and southern Canada. Canada thistle prefers colder seasonal climates, and while uncommon in the southwest region, it has been found in all 50 states. It invades disturbed areas like roadsides, fields, pastures, stream banks, and open forests. Though it isn't tolerant of shade, it can thrive in dry and wet soil. Canada thistle can grow between 2 and 5 feet tall. It has rigid, hairy stems with slight grooves, and its leaves are lance-shaped and irregularly lobed. They can be 2 to 6 inches long and have wavy, prickled margins. Roots of this thistle are extensive and horizontal, spreading 10 to 12 feet in one season. Each plant also has a fibrous taproot that can reach 6 feet down. The plant can spread vegetatively, meaning a small section of root can grow a new plant. Canada thistle is also a prolific seed producer. Clusters of pink or purple flowers form the inch-long terminal flower heads, which are surrounded by a spineless bract or modified leaf structure. The male and female flowers are in separate plants and they bloom between June and September. Unlike the male flowers, the female ones are fragrant and produce seeds. Each plant can produce up to 10,000 seeds, which are small and tufted to spread by wind dispersal. Most seeds typically land near the parent plant, but can remain viable in the soil for over 20 years. Because most seeds land near their parents, Canada thistle can quickly become a monoculture that shades out and displaces other plants. As we've mentioned in previous episodes, monocultures change the ecosystem of an area and reduce the diversity of the area's plants, insects, and wildlife. If it establishes in an agricultural field, it can significantly reduce the crop yield. Canada thistle also depletes the nutrients and moisture of the soil, making growing a challenge for nearby plants. This thistle is quick to establish in disturbed areas, making it a particular nuisance at construction sites, development projects, and landscape restoration projects. It's also a huge problem to get rid of and requires commitment. It can be pulled or dug out repeatedly, but be careful to remove as much of the root system as possible, as any left behind can resprout. The plants should not be composted for the same reason. Repeated mowing to weaken the plant is also an option, and is most effective right before the flower blooms. Herbicide use is also a possibility depending on the type. Timing is important, however, and you should always read the label and all directions before use. There's currently around 10 biocontrol agents used in the US against Canada thistle, but none have been particularly effective. As always, the best control method is prevention. When your adventures take you to an area with invasive species, stay on designated roads and trails. Afterwards, make sure you clean your boots, gear, pets, and vehicles of all mud and plant or animal materials before leaving the recreation area. This will help stop the spread of seeds or rhizomes to new areas. For more tips to stop invasives, including activity-specific advice, visit playcleango.org. Before we finish up this episode, we would like to go over an easy way to differentiate Canada thistle from native thistles and other invasives. There are several types of thistle in the US, and there are 6 native thistles in New York. Canada thistle can be distinguished from other purple-flowered invasive thistles, like the bull thistle, by looking at the stem. Other thistles have spiny, winged stems, while Canada thistle stems are smooth and rigid with no spines. Native thistles have spiny wings, but they aren't along the entire length of the stem. They also don't have the extensive root system that Canada thistle is known for. If the plant only has a taproot, it's not a Canada thistle. And with that, we reach the end of this week's episode of Invasive Species Friday. Next Friday, we'll be looking at an aggressively wiggly invertebrate. Until then, we at the Yates County CCE thank you for tuning in and supporting our fight against invasive species in Yates County.